rebuilding confidence, and harmonizing with nature. With over 4 decades of changing lives, your self-discovery archaeologist, get ready to be the best of you with your host, Beverly Zeimet.
Hello and welcome everyone to the Beverly Zeimet Show, where being the best you just got easier. My guest today, calling in from Los Angeles, is Liza Boubari. And Lisa, this is going to be all about transformation. I understand you're an expert at transformation. Is that correct?
Well, I believe so.
That's all that counts, right?
Yes.
So tell our audience a little bit about what does it mean to go into transformation?
First and foremost, thank you so much for having me on the show, Beverly. It's so good to be here with you.
Well, you're welcome.
Yes. What does it mean to go into transformation, or you mean trance state?
Well, you know what? Why don't we talk about both of those things?
Exactly. All right. So in order for us to get to a transformation, we have to have a journey. And as a clinical hypnotherapist, my specialty is doing therapy through hypnosis, and thus it's the hypnotherapy.
Okay, can I stop you for 1 second?
Of course.
We'll continue with this, but let's define hypnosis, because sometimes people are a little about, ooh, what do you mean hypnosis? What are you going to do to me? What am I going to do? Am I going to act weird, right? So let's do a little explanation of hypnosis and how it performs in the avenue that you do, and then we'll continue with the rest of the story.
What a great question. Yes. So what hypnosis is just a state of mind. What I like to call it, it's a trance state, a zone state, and every one of us go through this day in, day out. Mm-hmm. For those who sit in a car and they start the car and they put it in gear and they start their journey to go to a destination. While they've got the radio, they're singing, they're probably talking to someone on their Bluetooth, or the kids are in the car, or they're having a conversation, and they get to their destination, they stop the car, they put it in the park, they get out, lock the door, and they go to wherever they need to. They were just in a trance state. So when things we do and it becomes automatic, that in itself is a trance state, or we're in a zone. Watching a TV, someone watching QVC, they're so engrossed in this, right. Not men, but anyone who's watching any kind of a sport, right. And they're so into this, and that no matter who calls them,
right.
It's like they've shut everyone out.
Right.
It's like, wait, here's the game. Oh, no. So while they're in it, nothing else matters. And yet they hear everything. And in case there was an emergency, they would shift from here and tend to that.
Well, that makes sense. That is so perfect. I've never heard hypnosis described like that, but that is so true. I lived in Las Vegas for a long time, right? And
the shows.
It's not so much the shows or anything, but you're in and out of the casinos for different reasons and whatever. But with the gambling thing, I'm a people watcher. And you get people, again, at that machine, I could see what you're saying, because they are so zoned out.
Zoned in.
Okay, so they're zoned in. Yeah, that would make sense, in the inner self. That they really have no concept of what's going on around them. Zero, zip, nada. A bomb could go off behind them and they wouldn't even know.
Except if there was an alarm, they would stop.
Right.
Or if they had ordered a drink and the drink arrives, they will stop anything to get that drink because they know what is coming.
Right. That is so cool. Okay, now that we got that cleared up, let's go into this other thing.
Well, allow me to also say something. It's words are so profound. I Everything that I do is about words, right?
Right? I got that.
And a lot of people have this misconception of when they are hypnotized, they go under something, like under
Ah,
someone's spell, under someone's control. And there is no under because you're going in within
wow.
yourself.
That's
So we
that's good
take,
to know. That's really
right.
good information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another thing is that no one has control over you. And misconception is that you do not go to sleep, but you
Okay.
go into a sleep trance state. Because in that state of deep relaxation, you are more within yourself and hear yourself, your breath, your own body. You become more aware of yourself
Okay.
than the normal times that when we function, we are heightened and yet we're not paying attention. So in hypnosis, at a state that everything is focused about you, your mind, your body, your emotions, everything,
Mhm.
the attention is more heightened and more acute and aware.
Well,
So
that would
more
make
focused.
sense.
So that's why we call it Zen state, trance state, state of hypnosis. Another
Awesome.
difference is the difference between hypnosis and meditation.
Oh, okay. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Would you like to know?
I sure would. And I'm saying, hey,
Okay.
audience, you want to know? You want to know the difference between hypnosis and meditation? Because,
Right.
in my own thought patterning here, it's like, well, it's got to be
What do
pretty
you think
similar.
it is?
What do I think it is?
Yeah.
Well, because I take people into an altered state, right? And sometimes they don't like that word altered state, but meditation is also a form of moving within and finding the peace within and taking your thought patterns into a say a destination, maybe a goal or something you're looking to overcome, and to focus on something more intent, whether it's relaxation, whether it's trying to go to sleep, whether it's an issue that you're trying to deal with, through that meditative state. Maybe you're looking at a health issue that you want to focus in on, that type of thing.
Hmm.
So, um, hypnosis and how you just described hypnosis is another form of an altered type state, right?
It is. So here's the difference. I believe, but this is only my belief system, my BS.
Yeah. And that's the one that counts, right?
Right. So I I like to explain it this way because I
Okay.
also do hypnosis and I do meditation.
Okay.
Meditation, in my opinion, is we do this zone state in order for us to come to a place of peace and tranquility,
Right.
right? In hypnosis, we are very focused in why we are going into hypnosis, either to change a habit, to change a behavior, to change or shift something. So when we are hypnotized, we are doing something for something specific. Thus, the journey for the transformation. Meditation is to allow our thoughts to become scattered until we find that quiet space within us for us to maybe have the information come upon us or for our intuition to speak.
Wow, that I
Uh,
like that. I like that analogy there. It's really kind of cool, and I can see where it be specific because I do know I've had friends that have gone into hypnosis and they've had quit smoking, right, or losing weight, or
I love
moving.
the way you speak.
Well,
I love
I've
you
been down this path a long time, over 40 years.
too.
I've seen a lot. But it's so true, and it's really, I'm learning a lot today, about hypnosis and its more clinical definition, I guess. And gosh, guys, if you're listening to this lady over here, oh, isn't she great? I mean, my gosh, it's really clarified some things for me. And if it's clarified for you, comment below. Let us
Yes,
know what you're thinking about it. What are your fears? What was one of your biggest fears of being hypnotized? Right? Write that down here. Let us know. We'd like to know that, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
I would like to educate and share more information for your audience and whoever is here. By all means, words matter.
Yes.
And for those who come to me for stop smoking, I stopped smoking through hypnotherapy. I healed myself. I got into this business 20 over 2 decades ago, 20 2 decades ago, by healing myself through hypnotherapy. I was an assistant to an attorney, wanting to be an attorney. I was working in the law firms. After 9 years, my entire body broke down. Stress, anxiety, divorce, a lot of pressure, working two jobs, 11 hours, 12 hours a day. So my body was breaking down.
Right.
And I had already had two ovarian cyst surgeries. And it was the third one that when the gynecologist told me we're going to go for another surgery, I just did not want to go under the knife again. So I was bawling, crying. And when I went back to the law firm, the manager sent me to an acupuncturist,
Oh,
just a
okay.
block away. And it was the acupuncturist that did the treatment. And on the second treatment, he gave me a sheet of paper and said, "Did you know that hypnotherapy helps with ovarian cysts?" And I looked at Ilan and I said, "What does that up there have to do with down there?"
Yeah.
Right?
And I think a lot of our listeners, have that idea too, because some of the work that I do, taking them back into the emotion. What do you mean that thing that what happened to me 10 years, when I was 10 years old is
Exactly.
running my show here at 35? Well,
Amen. Amen.
right? It
So lo and
is.
behold, it was through hypnotherapy of 5 or 6 sessions that I healed myself. And since then, I've had absolutely no, knock on wood, feminine issues.
Right.
But I also stopped smoking. And I'm saying the word stop smoking instead of quit smoking.
Right.
Because as adults, we have been trained not to be quitters.
And that is so true when you talk about different words, because when a word has a definition, and
Mm,
again, different societies, different elements, can mean something completely different with just one word. Yet
exactly.
the psyche takes it verbatim as to exactly what it is. So with the slang language, you know, it you're making fun of a word, so to speak, but the psyche doesn't distinguish. It takes it for its true meaning. And
Verbatim.
so really paying attention to those words, and that's one of the things that I teach my clients too, is like, take this
Mm,
word out of your vocabulary, take this word out of your vocabulary, take this word out of your vocabulary, because you will find that things will go much smoother when
yes.
you remove those, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So stop smoking instead of quit smoking. And because I work with a lot of individuals that want to be more in shape and lose weight,
Mm-hmm.
I say drop weight instead of losing, because losing in itself, loss is such a sad thing.
What is, and then you got to go find it. God, I lost it. I got to go find it, right? It's mine.
Not
I got
only I
it.
got to go find it, but I'm going to do everything to have it back.
Right, and then some.
That's why a lot
Yeah.
of people with the weight loss industry, the media, advertising, everything is about lose
Right.
weight now, and let me have you on my system.
Yeah,
So
because you're going to take it back and then you have to come back again for more, right?
exactly, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's why so many folks do the yo-yo. And what I do, I have a book on this. It's called Stand Up to Slim Down.
Did you write
It's
that book?
stand. Oh, I have 3 books.
Oh, we got to share that with the audience. Yeah. Okay.
So one is called Stand Up to Slim Down, and
Nice.
it
I
is
like
for
it.
weight loss. It's emotional weight, mental weight. It's getting off the yo-yo weight loss. So once you understand the patterns, you understand why you do certain things, why
Sure.
you eat certain things, and why you hold on to weight. or don't want any of it on you. So depleting
Right.
yourself from you, right? It goes both ways. So that's one book. The other book is they're more workbooks. The other one is called Stomp on Smoking. So we stomp on the cigarette instead of
Okay.
right. So that means by choice.
Right, by choice. And that's a very important word, is by choice, because it is our choice to do or to
Mm,
not to do. And if you choose to not to do, you're still making the choice, right?
exactly.
Right? And
Beverly, you know this. We are not born smokers. We are not born gamblers. We are
no.
not born doing any of the things that becomes a negative habitual thing.
Right, and
So,
after doing it for such an extended period of time, it becomes your personality trait. It runs on autopilot, right? And it's like, how do you shut the autopilot off, right?
right.
How do you unplug your cruise control, right?
And
And
that's what hypnosis helps is to go and find the triggers. And just imagine it's like a computer file
right,
and our brain being a computer and our subconscious is the chip. So
okay,
what we do, it's the motherboard. We go into the chip, we go into the motherboard where the programs are, all the applications that throughout the years we have behaviors and habits and that everything
right,
has been formed. We go into that chip, we pull that one file out, let's say for the smoking, and then we go back to uh, editing the file. Ah, this is why I started smoking.
okay.
Great. Do you still want to smoke? But I enjoy smoking. Why do you enjoy smoking? So, all the questions, because it makes me feel good. Is there anything else that makes you feel good other than the smoke?
One of the things that I've heard so often from people that are smokers, even family members, one of the main reasons why they smoke, it calms them down
Hmm.
and it helps them not put weight on.
Exactly.
Like,
Oh,
wow.
another one that I had a client and said, if I don't have a cigarette in the morning, I can't have a bowel movement.
Whoa, what a program that is, right? I know a lot of people that say if
Right.
I don't have my cup of coffee, I'm not regular.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's called self conditioning.
Yes.
And what we do is we shift the program and we say, are you happy with the new programming? Yes. And that's all done in hypnosis, which is tapping into the subconscious mind,
Right.
which is the foundation and the beginning of the programming of
That's
who
all
we
your
are.
that's where all your autopilot is, right? That's
Everything,
yeah. Yeah.
right? Because consciously we look, listen, and learn.
Look,
Sub,
listen and learn. That's
right.
powerful, right?
Just like the camera. The camera looks, listens, and learns, which is the capture.
Right.
Once it captures, where does it go? It goes into the chip of that camera.
Yep.
And that is the subconscious. Even though it's very small, it has a lot of memory.
And you can bring it right back up and it's right there in front of you. That picture
And
does
the
not change.
subconscious stores the information.
Right.
It can rewind or forward. And the last thing that the subconscious does is regulates our entire bodily function, which we don't even think about,
Yes.
unless
Yeah.
there is a pain or something wrong.
And
That's
that
when we
and
pay
that should
attention.
actually be a warning, right? A red flag, whoop whoop, Houston, we got a problem. Hello.
Exactly.
But not everybody looks at it that way, you know? And we've been again conditioned and programmed that, oh, well, I'm this age now, so therefore it's like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Right? What I did, I think you'll get a charge out of this, is when I was 45 and I was really in the heat of doing all the work that I do and everything. But at 45, it was like the best year of my life. I had
Mm,
the perfect health, I had the perfect world, the perfect everything in my life at 45 was exactly what I had been striving for, and I got it. Right? My kids are all grown, they're out on their own, the world is for me. And that is where I've been living
mm,
forever, right? So you do the math. I'm 70 now, and at 45, I remain. So my body performs and functions at 45. There's no other option, right? That program is here in everything of my physical vessel.
But you chose that number and you anchored
Yeah,
it.
I did. Yeah. And now you used another word. You said anchor. You know, and I know there's NLP talks about anchoring because that's kind of a, is NLP kind of a form of hypnosis too?
NLP,
Neuro-linguistic training? Yeah.
neuro-linguistic hypnosis is a technique. NLP is a technique.
Okay.
Timeline therapy is a technique. Those are all techniques.
Okay.
So one person can learn a lot of techniques,
Right.
but it is the person who holds space for you, the one who is
Right.
trained to see all of you. I call myself, I have many certifications from stress management, anger management, hypnotherapy, NLP, timeline therapy, domestic abuse consulting. Those are all techniques. Those are all just education.
And then you can pick and choose and use pieces and parts to get the best result for the person
That's
that's
it.
right there in front of you.
That's it. So if I were to say this is all I do, then I think through the years of experience, what I have come to bring to the table for my clients is I hold space for them and I listen. I cherish the person as a whole
Mm-hmm.
with no judgment so they can get the best benefit. It's like opening Felix the cat, the
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful cat, opening that bag.
Right.
And let's say which modality is the best right here, right now.
That, you
That's
know, and that's why we have different options, and that's why there's so many different modalities out there. Not one is right and the other is wrong. It's when we have that understanding. And again, I think it goes back into the belief system of the person that you're working with, right? You know, they
exactly
might they may just be so totally against hypnosis because they have such a fear of it, of losing
right.
control, because somewhere along their life they've been stripped of being in control of themselves or being in charge of their life, that they can't go there. But you've got these other options that are going to get them to the result that they're looking for. And you come across as someone who is very trustworthy and very peaceful, you know, and very confident in what you do, you know. So it's that know, like, and trust. And it's like, hey, a key word you said was, I listen. I listen. You know, and I think that is one of the greatest assets that a practitioner can have, or that anyone can actually have, is to listen. But not only listen, hear what's being said and hear what's being not said. Right? Right?
If a therapist is genuinely connected,
Right.
the client themselves have the answers. All
That's
we
right.
do is draw it out of them.
Yeah.
And that's why I have a method, I like to call it, it's my signature method. It's called the 3E method.
Okay.
May I share that?
Yes, please do.
It's called the 3Es, which is I help you evoke what was. That
Okay.
means let's go to your history and explore the history to come to embrace what is, which is embracing the reality right here, right now. So you come out of that denial and see yourself and everything it's happening clearly. No judgment, no criticism, no nothing.
Right.
Just embrace all of you
Right.
so that you can evolve to what it is that you want to be.
You know, that's kind of similar to some of the techniques that I use. I have one that I call the rah-rah system, which when I share
Mhm.
this with you, you're going to say, basically, it's the same words, a choice of words, right?
Correct.
So it's recognize,
Correct.
acknowledge,
Right.
release,
Yes.
Replace. So
Replace before release.
no, release. So you got recognize, acknowledge, release,
Okay.
replace, because you got to get rid of the old stuff so you can put in the new belief,
Okay.
right?
Right.
And then accept that new truth. That's your new truth, right? And
Beautiful.
so it's that belief system. So basically, you get to the same result. It's just that you take a different road, and it's having that different road in that belief system, and that you can move and maneuver around in, right?
That's so true, Beverly. I I wholeheartedly agree with your system also. I mean, it's only semantics,
It is.
all semantics.
Yeah.
How we help an individual or a group, either online or in person. It doesn't matter when I speak in front of either 400 people or just one person. It doesn't matter.
The message is still the same.
The message is the same because we are helping them through a journey.
Right.
It's like being in a train and going from one destination to another, and there's so many different compartments. I love metaphors. And
so do I.
Right?
Great.
And they are the conductor.
Yeah.
And it's like, clear out some of the passengers, clear out some of the cargo, and then choose a new path and stop being derailed.
Go shopping, get a whole new wardrobe, right?
Exactly. Right.
What pair of shoes you gonna wear today? What kind of outfit you gonna wear today?
Put your high heels and go click, click.
That's right. Because we are the magic of our own life. We do create our own destiny. It's sometimes we just kind of get stuck in the muck, right? And we forget that muck was our creation with a database of information we had at that time. But the database of information keeps changing. The subconscious doesn't realize it because it's got it cut and paste, and it's got it all these little files that you were speaking of, right? And we got to get all the little files, because when it cut and paste, it's a mess down there. And we have to remember too that 95% of that mess that's in your subconscious isn't yours. It's been magnetically attached to you because you've shared an event and someone else is sharing, and you can relate to the feeling of the emotion. You say, I get it. I know that feeling. And you lay ownership to it. And so now it makes your little molehill this massive mountain.
Right.
Right? So to go and find all those parts and pieces, it is a journey. It's a journey that keeps on going. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was beautiful. I like to call the same thing as you said a magnetic attachment. I say, stop being a Velcro.
I always tell my clients, hey, be a sounding board, not a sponge.
Yes.
Right?
But
right?
That's what kids are.
Kids, oh my gosh,
children are like sponges. Everything is,
everything just comes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what we help, what you and I and so many who are in the work that we do, we take that sponge, we squeeze.
You just squeeze all that toxicity out of there, right? And then say, I'm done squeezing, get rid of the dang sponge,
Right. So I would love to know what your audience thinks of this. How would they want, what questions they have, and
yeah. Definitely, come on, communicate here, because we can't communicate with you if you don't communicate with us. We might be mind readers when you're sitting across the table, but we sure aren't right here. And it's asking the right questions. You commented on that, and you have that language, that verbal language, and the words, and I tell a lot of my clients that, what, the answers are all inside of you. All I am going to do is help you find the right question. So life is like a game of Jeopardy. Right? Life is like a game of Jeopardy. You have the answer. You just got to put the right question to it. And if I can help you find that question, then you win.
Right.
Right?
And so many people, now that you've brought up Jeopardy, it's like mind-boggling how some contestant knows
boom.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
instantly, it's like at the tip of their all. This is it, and all of them know the answer. It's just who
Who
pushes that,
pushes it fastest? Right.
right?
Right. And it's
And
that
because
forward
all that
thought.
information is in the subconscious, we never ever, we can never delete any experience. We cannot delete anything we have learned, either language or words or any subject, or even relationships.
But we
Everything
can
is
detach
there.
the feeling that
That's it.
fuels it, right?
That let's just detach from the triggers. No,
Yep.
it's like you stand in front of an elevator and that elevator is out of order. No
And you
matter
keep
how
pushing the button no matter how much it ain't gonna open, is it?
it's not going anywhere.
And neither are you if you keep pushing a button where it's still.
Except get more aggravated and start banging on that
Yes,
thing. This is
and
what
then
I
that
want.
triggers the stress hormones up here that make the body do funky things that you don't want to do. So you see this whole merry-go-round and roller coaster and everything that we put ourselves on. And when you can start talking about these things and you start talking out loud to yourself, start really speaking your thoughts, you are going to laugh your butt off, because it's like you're talking your thoughts and you're hearing those thoughts and you're like,
Mm,
am I really saying that? I'm really thinking this? Oh my gosh, better call in the white coats, right?
right.
Yeah. And when you can have a good laugh at yourself, you are
Oh,
on the road to now being really in charge of that destiny and creating your life the way you want to. You know, quit judging yourself. Quit beating yourself up. You think other people are judging you? You think other people are putting you down? Well, you know what? That's your belief, and the thing is they're all thinking the same thing you are, so it's not their thoughts about you. They're thinking it's their thoughts about themselves that are thinking. Now, I don't know if anybody made sense out of that, but it all comes back to here. It doesn't matter what other people
mm,
think of you. It matters what you think of you,
right.
right? And that's finding your true identity. And that's what started my journey back in 1974. I had total loss of my identity. I was identified by association, right? You belong to so and so because I was married to somebody, right? Oh, you're so and so's mom. Oh, you're the one who writes for the newspaper. Oh, it's like, wait a minute, I have a name, right?
All the
And I
titles.
yeah, it's association, right? How do you associate yourself with what you do? What you do isn't who you are, right? And so the work that you're doing here through this hypnosis and some of the other modalities that you mentioned are so powerful in changing someone else's world. And I have found every client I've ever worked on has been a reflection to an inner healing for myself. Have
Mm.
you noticed that? That when you're working with someone else and they're shifting, that you're shifting right alongside of them?
Oh yes, I go in the zone with them.
Right.
I'm not in hypnosis, but I am very much in zone. That space is very sacred, and
Yes, it
I
is.
too am human, and I feel it, and I realize that with each, as they become successful, I'm celebrating a success.
Right.
So as
Right.
they feel fulfilled and transform, and they go, yes, I did it, and I realize, yes, there is a person in here, and she's also
Right.
celebrating.
Right.
Of
Oh, I celebrate with my clients all the time. I've cried.
course,
I've cried with them. I've laughed with them. I've screamed with them.
exactly.
And that is such an amazing healing in itself, and a fulfillment, in everybody's life, right? Yeah.
Yes. So someone asked me, what exactly do you do? And I was stumped because what I do I had to write it down. And after
Right.
pages and pages and pages, they said, find your elevator. What do you do?
Yeah.
So I came
Five
down
words. Choose 5 words out of those
right.
10 pages,
And
right?
one sentence that tells exactly what you do. As a Toastmaster, I can give you a whole story, the beginning, the
Right.
opening, the story itself, and there's a closing. So I'm like, I can tell a story. No, give me in a line. So in a line, I found out that the simplest form is I help eradicate self-doubt and pain through hypnotherapy so that you feel free with absolutely no drugs and less time to have a better life for yourself because you matter.
That's
That's it.
so beautiful. And it's short, it's sweet and to the point, and everybody can understand it. It's factual. One fact after another, after another, after another. And as you're saying that, I'm feeling this in my body, and
Mm.
you make a statement, it's like, yes. You make another statement, yes. And then you take another statement, it's like, yes. Oh my God, this is so awesome, right? And that's what you want people to understand, where they're saying yes, 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 because
Mm.
that means you get them. She gets me. She gets me. I can trust her. She knows what I want. She knows how I feel, right? And it's done in a manner of, it's your choice to do
Mm.
or to not to do. And we are going to take you into a space together, because I know there's that old picture thing with hypnosis, right? You come in, you lay down on the couch, and then the guy, seriously, and the guy's over here with this little pad writing down, okay, go ahead, spill your guts, and some more, some more, you're doing good, right? And you're like, seriously, and then what they do when you're all done with that, so now you've just puked up everything, and then they hand it back to you on a silver platter. Say, okay, here it is. Go home and digest your vomit, and then come back in a couple weeks and you will regurgitate it again. But if it gets too overwhelming, here's this little pill you can take, right? I was like, oh my gosh. We have gotten so far removed from that with the techniques, and the systems that have come alive to say, hey, it's not about regurgitating. It's not about taking a pill to suppress it. It's about making the change permanently.
Well, what do pills do? They numb it.
Yeah. What's the same thing with a
Alcohol
band-aid?
numbs it,
Yeah,
drug
alcohol,
numbs it, drug,
sugar. Yep.
everything.
Everything.
But they are just numbers. It's not, it's when we have uh, a wound, when we have a wound and there's a cut or something like that, if it's a deep cut, when that happens, the first thing that people do is what? Tourniquet in order for you not to bleed more, right?
Right.
So that's the first step. Or you put something on it and you hold it, you squeeze it hard for the bleeding to stop.
Right.
And it does. If you do it instead of cussing it out, if you say, oh, ooh, ooh, and you start massaging it,
Right.
or you hold it tight with love. And the same thing is happening with the wound, that after a while, in order for that to heal, if we don't tend to it properly, it's the pus in itself is going to be worse. And
Exactly. Yes.
it's going to get worse and it's going to go feed the inside. It's just like it roots inside until you open the wound, get the pus out, and then start tending to it lovingly. Bandage it and tend to it, love it. And after a while, you'll see that thing healing so much faster, no matter how
And you
hard
heal
and hard.
from the inside out, right?
That's the only way. We cannot, nothing from the
Right.
outside. No
And
alcohol, no sex, no gambling, no eating, no cheating, no
yep,
smoking, all the negative ings.
yeah. Yeah, the ings, that's right. And the anonymouses that are out there. And what you're describing here is also emotions. Emotion is a word. It's just a word. And we're all going to have these words that we experience. It's when this emotion gets filled with pus, it's from the feelings that we feed into. It's like putting salt on a wound, right? Those feelings, right? And we're doing this to ourselves by the database of information or what we think we need to do, right? Those old belief structures and stuff. So again, what you're doing with hypnosis and some of the other modalities that you're using basically is you're finding that emotion. Now let's see what's fueling it. As you said, the computer going in and get the little chip. Now we're going to remove the main database, but we have to go find all the little wiring. Where did it go? Oh, it went over there, and it went over here, and it went over here, and it went over here, right? So every one of your cells has a different memory and a different take on it.
Exactly.
So your
Muscle
heart
has memory.
Yeah. So your heart has different memories with a certain emotion. Your liver has a different. Your kidneys have different. Like fear is stored in the kidneys. Anger is stored in the liver. Bitterness is stored in the gallbladder and the pancreas. So when you understand where those emotions are and the fuel you're feeding it, and you recognize what is going on, because your body will tell you exactly, and you said this at the very beginning, your body is going to tell you what needs to be fixed.
Right. And that's how I figured out why my body was creating the cysts.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting
having
you
to
chose
die
that. Yeah, I did the same thing. I had a cyst show up, right? Oh, you want to talk about knocking your hormones out of whack? This was like, probably around 86, maybe 87-ish, right? I mean, I was like off the charts. I mean, all you had to do was say a word. I was crying. I'm like, now I'm running a business and I'm out there in a man's world because I was selling sandpaper to body shops, okay? And let me I know. And it's like, well, it's that mind over matter power thing. There was no way I was going to let anything of this show. But what had happened was I had lost so much of the feminine side of who I was because I was buying for masculine attention. I was in a man's world, and my little girl was so smashed down, and I had done that all my life because I was my dad's son until my brother came along, and that was that competition. I grew up as a tomboy. I mean, that element. But boy, I tell you, when I hit that age, right there in like 85, 86, 87-ish, and this happened, and when I stopped and went inside of myself to say, why are you here? Why are you here? What is this message? Okay, so you're going to reside in here? Okay, fine. You can reside in this body as long as you take care of your little old self there and you don't bug me, because if you're going to keep bugging me, well, guess what? We're going to make a trip over here to that guy that's going to slice and dice the hell out of you, right? That's my last choice. So this is a conversation I'm having with myself out loud, seriously, right? And you know what? It was like instantaneous. All of that was gone. All of that was gone. So again, it's taking charge of what's going on with your physical body.
Exactly.
Right? So don't be afraid to have a conversation with it, because that is healing. And Lisa, how you can help people find that ability to start communicating with their bodies, paying attention. Oh, kudos. You and I are going to have to talk. We might have to do some kind of joint venture here, right?
Oh, I would love this. I would love this. This is how I came up with the name of my company. It's called Heal Within.
Heal Within. Yeah. I actually call myself a self-discovery archaeologist.
Ooh.
I know, right? It is just kind of describes what you do, right? And to be able to come together in a joint format. Hey, comment down below. You guys want to see us do something together? You think we could be over powerful? Oh my gosh.
Oh my
This
God, I
is
would love that.
this is for you guys out there, right? You know, we're going to have just as much fun doing it, but we're going to give you
Oh,
beyond the cream of the crop, right?
not only that, it's, I know you are in back east. I am in the West Coast, but
Well,
you know,
I'm not back east.
oh, you're not.
No. This is, yeah, no, I'm not. As a matter of fact, my phone number has a 303, which is a Colorado. My love and the most of my time is spent West Coast. But
Oh,
I
wow.
travel since 97. Since 97, I do not have a place that I call home other than where I lay my head.
Okay.
Okay?
Well,
So
my intention is for all your viewers. I'm thinking of putting together, hopefully this entire thing we will be changing, and sometime end of August to do a retreat, a private high-end retreat for a true inner transformation. And
oh
I
my
think,
gosh.
wouldn't it be great for you and I to literally take this group who wants to heal
Right.
in one weekend, focused attention on
You,
them in
you
a gorgeous place
yes, it
and
is.
do this.
You hit
Oh,
on something that I have been putting together myself.
ah,
Is a retreat. It's like a 4 or 5 day high end retreat that
right.
does exactly what we've been talking about here today. So could you imagine if we combine forces? Come on, people. How about that? You get two for the
Yes.
price of one, right?
And we're going to merge. And it's just like two
Ah,
people doing a massage, like a dual massage on one person. And
yeah.
it's, oh, oh my God.
Oh my gosh, I'm
I
getting
can't
chills
wait.
all over. This is so exciting.
I've
This
got
is so
goosebumps,
exciting.
my
I
lady.
know, same here. It's like that's what I love about this show, right? And just so our viewers know, and the ones that have been watching me, they get this, right? Lisa and I have never met each other
In person.
in person, right? We didn't know who each other was and what we did other than just a little bio here or there, right? Until she came on this show, and this is purposely done. I don't interview my people before the interview because I want it to be organic. I want this to be as real can be. And give her kudos. She has been so real today. I love it. I love it, right? Yes, give yourself a big
A round
hand.
of applause.
That's
Uh,
right. That's right, you know, and it just is an authenticness about being that best you. And that's why I chose the theme of being that best you that you can be, because everything you watch, every action that you take, every person you communicate has got a message that will give you that inspiration to go out there to be an even better you. It's not about being a broke you. That's not what it's all about. This journey that Lisa's been talking about, this journey is your personal journey to the highest intent of wherever it is that you want to go. You meet people along the path. You stay on that path of harmony. You're going to have people coming in and coming out, giving you different, not directions to pull you off the path, because granted, we have plenty of those, and I've been off I've been off that path, more than once. But you know what? Not no more. You learn how to recognize what's pulling you away from your ultimate direction, all that journey. And when you start seeing these different reflections, it is also a way that's going to help you really find that inner truth of who you are, the soul essence of who you are, and begin not only healing on your physical cell level, but on your soul cellular level. And that's what all these different techniques are. Hypnosis is a very strong element there. And your explanation here today should have put so many people's mind at ease. It gave me a whole different perspective on hypnosis that I've ever had. And I am so grateful that you shared that. So come on, people, comment below here. What do you think? Wasn't she great in how she shared these analogies? Take away that fear or that threat, because a lot of times hypnosis can be like a threat, right? And really put your mind at ease as to, you know what? It's time for me to make the choice on my journey. And when you look at what's going on in the world today, how are you changing in this space that you've come to know, and the excess time that you've had to really, really find this space internally? How are you going to maneuver and move that out into the open world, into the open spaces differently than what you did coming into it? And I think more than ever that people are going to need to know how to fit in to what this new space is going to be, because it's going to be so different from the space coming into it. And everyone has gone into themselves in a different manner. So it's going to be learning everything all over again. And we want to make this journey to the outside of the open world as easy, as simple, and as less threatening as possible. Right? That's what people like Liza and myself and a lot of the other speakers that you've heard on this show are here to give you, that direction and that guidance and support. And you know what? Healers need healers. Did you hear what I said? Healers need healers. So we're not above or any better than any of you out there. People need people. Coaches need coaches. Finances, they need other financial advisors. Every avenue, every business that you're in needs someone that's going to support and lift up. Nobody is better than anyone else. We're all together in this. We're all one. Let's start acting like it, right? Right? Oh my gosh, Liza, I just so loved having you here. You are definitely going to be back on the show, right? So we can talk about maybe some of these other modalities and tapping a little bit, deeper in that. So it's been an honor having you here. So thank you again so much for being here. Do you have one last message that you could share with our audience today?
The only person who's got your back is you.
Oh my gosh, I just got chills all over my body. You need to say that again.
The only person who's got your back is you.
Wow. On that note, it's time for you guys to go out there and be the best you that you can be, because you have got your back. So, Liza, let's you and I go out there and be the best we that we can be, right? And until the next show, we're going to say goodbye, and everyone have a beautiful rest of your day.